Pauline Grizzle Williams, 1928 to 2015. Pauline Grizzle Williams, 86, of Greenup, formerly of Ashland, passed away Saturday, February 7th, 2015, in the Community Hospice Care Center in Ashland. Ms. Williams was born August 18, 1928, in Flatwoods, the daughter of the late Luther and Minnie Moore Grizzle. She was also preceded in death by her husband, O.B. Williams, whom she married January 3rd, 1947, 5 brothers, Ora Grizzle, Benny Grizzle, Clyde Grizzle, Delbert Grizzle, and John Grizzle, 3 sisters, Hester Grizzle, Mary Grizzle Price, and Thelma Grizzle Porter, and lifelong friends, Jewel and Willard Mason. She was a member of the Greenup Christian Church and a former member of the Pollard Baptist Church in Ashland. She enjoyed her travels with family and friends. She is survived by a daughter, Sue and David Williams Stoltz of Greenup, 3 grandchildren, Brad and Leslie Stoltz, Lori, Heath Stoltz Lovell, and Brian Stoltz, 4 great-grandchildren, Aaron Lovell, Drew Stoltz, Austin Lovell, and Dylan Stoltz, and 1 brother, King Grizzle, and several nieces and nephews. The funeral will be at 1 p.m. Tuesday, February 10th at Greenup Christian Church by Pastor Mike Dennis. Burial will be in Rose Hill Burial Park in Ashland. Visitation will be after 11 a.m. Tuesday at the church. In lieu of flowers, donations may be sent to Greenup Christian Church, 711 Main Street, Greenup, Kentucky, or the Community Hospice Center, 1480 Carter Avenue, Ashland, Kentucky. Reed Funeral Home in Greenup is in charge of arrangements. Condolences may be sent to reedfuneralhome.us.
All right, this is a true story. I once came within about a second of attacking Nana with a hammer. A little known fact about me, I still get scared staying in big houses by myself. So much of my anxiety a few years back, I was home alone in my parents' house, and I heard a noise downstairs. Quickly grabbed the hammer, which was the closest weapon within my reach, slowly walked down the stairs, round the corner in the kitchen, and right before I attacked, I saw her. I might have mumbled a few curse words at her, but the lesson here is don't sneak up on me when I'm home alone. There are many memories I have of her, but the main one is, I think, is being in the kitchen with her. She taught us to catch, clean, and fry fish at a young age. Lori recently sent me a picture of her and I standing in Opie and Nana's yard in Florida, and with Lori proudly holding a newly caught fish. I responded back, I don't even want to describe how white trash we looked. After Opie died, which I will say Opie's favorite was Brad. After Opie died and she was alone in the house across the street, not a day went by when she didn't offer at least food. We couldn't pull in the driveway without her opening the door saying, do you want anything to eat? Most of the time I took her up on it. She taught me how to make a lot of things, but the most important was chicken Kiev. It was a process together that we enjoyed the most. We beat the chicken, piled as much butter and chives as humanly possible into it, and then roll it up and fried it. My mother and I would always fight over which one would have the most butter, and extra points were always given if the butter squirted out on the first cut. This past Christmas, my mother, she didn't recognize me, which it happens. But she had to be told who I was by my mother. And after she was told, she calmly stated, you finally outgrew me. And I said, well, I've been taller than you since 1992. Which I think was better than a couple of Christmases ago when I think she thought I was a foreign exchange student. In our final days, I was shocked, but pleasantly surprised to receive a text from my dad saying that Nana just told Lori and Leslie that you were her favorite. This, ladies and gentlemen, was when I knew her mind was completely gone. Me, the guy that almost killed her with a hammer, no way. So in closing, I'll take a few lessons from her, but the one I'll remember the most is this. She lived her life like she put butter in chicken Kiev. In her 86 years, she tried to apologize as much as possible.
These are Lori's comments. Most of these are same memories that I have because we were so much closer in age. So instead of repeating a lot of them, I would just add mine in. Only now, as an adult, do I realize how fortunate we were to have our grandparents live so long and so close and be around for so much of our lives. In some of our most formative stages of life, we had 3 of our grandparents living right across the street from us. And it's a blessing we'll never forget. I have so many memories of my Nana. From their house in Ashland, I remember spending a night and sleeping in my mom's childhood bedroom in her twin beds with Nana, snooping around in her bathroom closet, climbing their TV antenna onto the roof, playing wiffle ball in the backyard. We would shoot pool down in the basement. We would draw a strike zone on the cement wall downstairs. And I may be one of the few 13-year-olds of my generation that drove all the way from Ashland to Greenup by myself with OB, saying it was okay because he had the police sticker on the back of his car. We remember Nana cooking all of us poached eggs and buttermilk biscuits while serving OB his soy milk and sitting at their 50 Styles kitchen table and listening to gospel music on 8-track tapes. Years later, when they moved beside us in Greenup, Nana and our Mamie never missed any of our events. I wish I'd known then just how lucky we were to have both of them together. I remember for a few years after Obi passed away, Nana didn't want to sleep alone in her house on Christmas Eve, so she would climb into my waterbed with me, and we would turn on the Home Shopping Network because they had a fake fireplace that would air all night long. For some reason, that comforted both of us, and we fell asleep. Next, I get married and move around several times. This is Lori. Several times in a span of a few years, Nana was always there, lifting, unpacking, painting. She was in charge of the trim because no one could do it better than her. And it was always a lot of fun. And then when she and Mom would finally leave, we would have to go around and find the things that Nana had moved around that I had put where I wanted, and she had moved to where she thought they belonged. She was a strong, tough lady, as many of you know, and I can't remember her ever being sick a day in her life. She was always the one trying to take care of everyone else. She was so tough that even when she was in her late 70s, and when we told our grandkids this, she escaped a bull from the, or she was hit by an escaped bull from the fairgrounds that actually flipped her in her backyard. And she came out with only a bruise, and my grandfather came out with only a shotgun. I think the biggest blessing for me, though, is the time she has spent with my boys and Lori's boys. Most of us aren't lucky enough to know one of our great-grandparents the way our boys did. She had endless patience and energy with them. She was always the first one in the car and actually volunteered to sit in the back seat with them, all 4 of them. I can vividly remember picturing looking in the rearview mirror to see her squashed between 2 of them in the very back. She sang along with them, handed out goldfish and juice boxes, and expired insured drinks. Gaddyland, the mall, IHOP, Cannon Park, the movie theater, Toys R Us. It did not matter where we went, she was ready to go. When talking to the boys about her in the past few days, they all had their own memories. Her sweet tea that was mostly sugar, the noodles, the brownies she always cooked for them on demand, watching cartoons there on the living room floor, playing with her dog, Lori, and doing one of her favorite things, collecting shells on the beach. I am so incredibly thankful that we have all these memories of her in our hearts forever. Nana, you are one of a kind, the best grandmother, the best great-grandmother anyone could ever ask for. We love you.